What do you remember from that day in Houston?
I've nothing. I've lost 5 weeks.
You've lost 5 weeks.
5 weeks in my life. Two weeks before, I think, 3 weeks after.
Two weeks before the crash and 3 weeks after?
I remember my friend Albert's wedding in Portland, I think 2 weekends before. That's about it. At the time, I could remember snippets. I could remember nothing about the accident, not even the race. And then I don't know if it's because my brain started to swell up or whatever, but the memories then just shut down. Nothing.
How do the severity of some of your past accidents compare to the Houston one that ultimately ended your career?
As far as crashes in the racing car, I mean, I had one in 2000 when I broke my pelvis and gave myself a pretty good concussion. I was back in the car after 3 weeks with that one. That was probably a little soon, but you're ready to go, you know. I mean, the pelvis was still rubbing and all that sort of stuff at that point, but that was a little too soon maybe. This one, I mean, it was, I don't know, it was obviously painful. The fact it was multiple injuries kind of slowed me down a little bit. I think in 2000 it took me 2 years to get over the concussion I had then. I didn't have the luxury of time to recover from it. You know, if I had just stayed out of the car for 6 months, I'd have been done. So, in this instance, the fact the doctors made the decision for me was pretty helpful.
Weeks after the race, you're in Miami staying with Tony Kanaan at his home while you're in town visiting some doctors. He said at that time you're still talking really slow, you're sleeping up to 18 hours a day. How would you describe how you were feeling then?
I was really feeling bad. I mean, I knew I was struggling because I got to TK's house, I got in the lounge, I hadn't seen Tony for a good couple of 3 weeks. And normally we'd just sit and, you know, talk crap for hours and just, you know, annoy each other and tell jokes. And literally after 5 minutes, I'm like, TK, I need to go to bed. I went upstairs and I slept for 18 hours. Next morning I got up, went to the doctors, and that's when I spoke to Dr. Olvey and Dr. Hotz, one of his colleagues. And that's kind of when I started to realize there was a bit of an issue going on here.
How did you find out you would never be able to race again?
The final sort of, I mean, I talked to Dr. Trammell about my back, and he was saying, you know, this is not good. The old fractures combined with the new fractures is you know, you're really taking a gamble here. The chances of, I'm paraphrasing here, but the chances of you know, if you're having another impact, another concussion, you know, you're really setting yourself up for some big problems. I spent the weekend thinking, oh, how can I get around this? I wonder if I can do this. And every sort of avenue I tried to go down, way of getting around this issue, it came to the same thing, you can't do it. And so I think on the Monday I picked up the phone and called Chip and told him what was going on.
During those couple days after you originally got the news from the doctor, I understand you kind of had the phone off, sort of disappeared, spent a lot of time in the study at your house. What's going on then?
As I said, I was just trying to find a way around it. You know, I still felt I wanted to race. I wanted to see if there's any way I could do it. You know, I said, okay, well, can I do something else? And no, the answer came back the same every time. So that was it.
How challenging is it to accept that?
It's, some days are more challenging than others. Some days it really sucks. The one thing I do have is I'm every 99 days out of 100, I'm just really grateful I'm here. Do you know what I mean? I don't care about anything else of the fact I'm just here. I'm able to be here and you know, live my life. So that's the overriding emotion.
In speaking to your mom, she said due to the risk that's inherently involved in the sport, she said, as a mother, you wait a lifetime for the day when your son will say he's retiring and no longer racing anymore. And she knew when the public announcement was coming, obviously, but when she saw it online for the first time, she said she still burst out crying because you never want that decision to be taken away, from your son. What do you think you'll miss most about it?
The first thing that comes to mind is I'll miss that sort of driving into victory circle, but that might never have happened again. I might never have won another IndyCar race, but I will miss that feeling. But I'll miss those days when I'm in the car and I'm just really, the car's doing what I want and I'm driving well and I'm just having a good time. And that might be a test day. That might be the last lap of the Indianapolis 500. It might be, who knows? But I'll miss that feeling of driving the car.
What are the lingering effects with the head?
They get less every day, but memory's pretty bad. I forget words. Mood swings. I've been, touch wood, I've been not bad on this one. The first concussion, the 2001, wow, mood swings were incredible.
How long have the doctors said it'll take you to be fully back to normal?
They don't know. You and I could have the same accident with the same symptoms and have completely different recoveries. There's still a lot of unknowns with the brain, and it just comes down to the fact that another hit to the head, another concussion would not be good.
To what extent are you looking forward to figuring out the next chapter of your life?
Think of all the fun things, all the cool stuff, all the great people I've got to meet. Okay, what's next? What am I going to do? All those things that I didn't have the time to do. I'm going to get a chance to do that. I want to go on a road trip. Oh, great. Jump in the car and drive to Sicily. Fantastic. I can do that now. So there's all these different things that I'm going to get a chance to do.